is a SVI made by Supervac in Loveland, and we put this in service in 2008.
So this is a Healey Freightliner. It's a rescue style rig.
This is old Dive 16.
The new Dive 19.
One kind of neat thing about this is when we purchased and spec'd this out, it was a stock delivery vehicle. Companies would use this for delivering bread or delivering packages.
The old 16s unit was essentially, we lovingly called it the bread van, but it was a van style rig towing a Zodiac.
And it was repurposed for our dive team to be a dive response vehicle. And at the time it was a top of the line piece of equipment. And now in 2025, it'll finally start its life with our logistics section as a delivery vehicle. Although it's leaving our dive team, it will stay at South Metro.
We've really stepped it up in order to give our citizens a much better response.
Divers were sitting in chairs.
You'll notice is these seats, similar to in our suppression rigs, we've got our BCDs ready to go. So our divers, the intention is that they'll get in their suits as the call drops. And then once they sit down, they're able to get in their BCDs and prepare for the call and start doing BCD checks. All of these things are going to drive down the time that it takes in order to get in the water and start effecting a rescue.
And we didn't have communication with the divers. So as the call would change or as the updated information would come in, it was difficult for me to share that with the divers.
Upgraded our comm systems. David Clark headset ties in. We've got an open mic to a speaker over here on the right. So while you're driving, you can hear everything that's going on back here. You can communicate with your divers. And in addition, we've got a TV screen just up in this corner that's going to mirror our MDT so that they can see all the call notes and they can get a better sense to orient themselves to the specifics of each call.
But everything is not secure. And so things would fall out as we were driving. And organization was something we struggled with a little bit.
This rig has given us the opportunity to put all of the divers' stuff on the rig so everyone's ready to go. So if a diver is coming in from a non-dive station, we still have their equipment ready to go. That allows us to not share dive equipment, and it allows us to be ready faster. So we've got all of our Swiftwater gear up here. These are some ice rescue suits, some extra comm gear. As we move back, we've got PFDs. We make sure that everyone on dive operations is wearing a PFD. If you see a diver or someone on a rescue call without a PFD, chances are they're wearing a dry suit, which counts as a PFD. We've got booties for Swiftwater and a bunch of extra gloves. And then moving back, we've got the fins that we use with our dry suits. These are our weights that we use. This helps us. I told you we were wearing fleece underneath our dry suits. So this helps us get down in the water properly. Additionally, we've got our Swiftwater. This is to set up for a high line for a Swiftwater operation. These are all things we use to keep on the exterior of the cab for the most part. So this is great to be able to access them from the inside of the cab and plan out your call and route to it instead, which at the end of the day is going to save time affecting a rescue. So inside and outside, this rig looks pretty big and visually eye-grabbing. But like I always say, these things, whether it's a suppression engine, a medic unit, or a dive unit, it's a toolbox. And everything has its place and everything has a purpose so that we can serve the community in the best way possible. Because our goal at the end of the day is to be as fast as we can from the station into the water, and this is what's going to allow us to do it.
Inmar Zodiac, and we put this in service in 2019. It replaced our previous Zodiac that had been in service for 10 or 15 years.
As you can see, we've got a 21-foot whaler, which mirrors what we've got on the east side of the district. We have a 19-foot whaler.
Also, a lot of our dives happen when weather comes in, when the reservoir is really rough. So having a 25 horsepower motor powering us, no keel to stabilize us, and no navigation to direct us made dive operations in heavy weather pretty challenging.
A Boston whaler is 100% unsinkable. That is factual and correct. That does not mean that you cannot flip it over.
The Zodiacs are great for quick responses. Where we struggled was getting 3 divers on here, a officer and someone to operate the boat, set the anchors, and navigate. Without any console, we're not able to run sonar. Without any compass or GPS, navigating and search patterns are really challenging. This was a necessary upgrade for us based off of the call volume that we're seeing in our state parks now. With the ability to run communications, our sonar equipment, our navigation, and safely outfit up to 4 divers at the same time, we're able to be a lot faster and more precise with our searches and get divers on targets in a fraction of the time that it took us with our old equipment. It also allows us to operate in much more difficult environments, like a lot rougher water, where our previous raft was not able to do precise search grids or safely haul the number of divers we need to run a safe dive.
So this is the culmination of 2 years of kind of planning and collaboration. This is a huge upgrade for us. It's a huge upgrade for the community.
We're looking for a target that's about the same size as a car. You can see the scale up here, 30 to 62, so that's 31 feet. And so these are targets that are coming back from the sonar that about the right size of a vehicle.
Chatfield and Cherry Creek are the 2 main bodies of water that we respond to. Those are the 2 busiest bodies of water in Colorado.
It's kind of simulating if this were a last seen point where a person drowned or a boat sank. We would come in and we would use this exact setup to first locate the target with our side scan sonar, and then we'll mark it here on our chart with our GPS coordinates, and then we'll anchor the boat and we'll deploy our 360 sonar, which we'll show you in a second, and that 360 image will show up on this monitor.
This is our 360 sonar, so when the boat, once we have our image into our side scan, we're going to drop our 360, and it's basically a stationary picture of the object that we're going to. And we should be able to just guide the diver right to it.
Okay. There's currently 44 divers on the team, and we're split up kind of across the district, but mainly at 2 stations, 31s and 19s. 19s recently moved to the west side of Chatfield so that we could have a much quicker response in, which gives us a much quicker response time for our citizens.
Okay, Brett, we can hear you pretty well. Can you hear us? So now we're just starting to get our first images on the 360 sonar. So this is a stationary sonar, and the picture looks a little bit like radar. The transducer is actually physically spinning under the boat, and it's broadcasting sound energy, and we're getting a return from our target, which is on the starboard side. And using our distance scale, we can see it's about 40 feet off the boat. There we go. Gill's closed.
You're clear behind?
Clear behind.
Cover first diver in the water. Copy, first divers in the water at 10:37 hours. 21 copy.
Yeah, we've got you on comms. And when you get to the bottom, we'll get an air check from you. So now that we have the divers in the water, our backup diver will pull up the H floats.
PSI 2650.
Copy, you're at 2650 and you're at 15 feet. So the diver's reporting his depth and his air status. Copy, 24 feet. That helps us confirm his sonar target. Because the diver can't see anything.
Okay.
Because visibility is difficult for him to see. We can use the compass on the boat and our sonar image.
I'm gonna give 3 tugs.
Copy, target's located. If you can search around the object for any victims.
Copy that.
So just that fast,
Can I get a
our
little bit of slack?
primary diver has located the target. We use sonar and the compass coordinates to guide him in, and he's about 20 feet off the boat in a little over 20 feet of water, and now he's searching around the target for any victims. We essentially have 2 redundant dive teams, and we share personnel back and forth, and each one of those dive teams is positioned right next to one of our state parks, Cherry Creek Reservoir and Chatfield. And Station 19, which is where this boat is housed, is literally across the street from the reservoir. So our response time to getting here and getting a boat on the water is exceptionally short. That move was made to accommodate these new, this new apparatus and this new boat, and it really shortens our response time too. So for this dive season, we're going to be a lot faster getting on the water and getting our searches done and locating victims. Year after year, the water rescue rates very highly with our citizens that we survey, and the community has made it known that this is a real important thing for them, and each year we see more visitors to our state parks, and frankly, we have more incidents on the water. So this kind of represents our commitment to meeting the customers where they are and responding to their needs. What you saw today, us bringing our new boat out, going through a training evolution, using our sonar and our navigation equipment, and putting 2 divers in the water, we were able to find a target on the sonar in less than 5 minutes with our divers. That's really the culmination of years of work, of speccing out the right piece of equipment that's appropriately priced for our responses and appropriately bid, and the training that our divers receive before they get on the dive team and start responding to these incidents. It's really years worth of work to get us to this point. So today was just a great opportunity for us to get to show everyone what we've been working on for years. And hopefully we don't see you this summer, but if we do, we're going to be well prepared. The number one safety tip I'd like to share is if you're out on the water, please wear a life jacket. We always have PFDs on, and that is the number one thing you can do to have a safe day in the state parks.